Hi, Sagittarius. Hope you had a great Christmas and holidays and Happy New Year. Up on your screen, there's a 2025 year ahead planetary alignments and degrees, and I have personalized um, each alignment of this year for each sign because you'll be feeling some stuff more than others. So if you want to take a screenshot, um, for your own record, or if you want to then follow along with me, um, or you can follow it at your own leisure, comparing it to your natal chart later on. Okay, and we're now to March, so you can stop this and take a screenshot. April, and that's the ending of April. May, June, July, August, September, October, and November, and then finally December. And you can see I've highlighted the most important stuff that I'll be discussing. I won't be discussing every single thing, but the really important stuff that will affect you. And those asterisks, don't worry about those. Those are my notes. Well, you can gather probably the three asterisks are the really important ones, and two and one, and so forth. So I'm not going to have a generic intro. I'm going to jump straight into your sign. But just disclosure one is if you hear snoring, it's my pug. He jumps up next to me, and the microphone catches his snoring. And the other thing is because I'm using like this generic video editor, um, I'm having to speed it up because I have so much information because it's for the entire year and for these huge shifts that are coming in. There's a lot of information, so I had to speed it up. So if it's too fast for you, you can click on the YouTube the screen, and a tools icon will pop up. Click on that, go into the speed, and you can slow it down. So that is it. We are going to jump straight into your reading. Your Okay, Sagis. So I've labeled the year into three different themes. The first part of the year will be the very, very recent past, and then we'll be thrust into the future by early spring. Actually, by end of next month. Oh my God, it's coming up fast. So that thrust into the future will last until late summer, and then the latter half of the year we will be going back to the past. And if you have heard other astrologers harping on about a new world, a new you, future aliens, this and that, well, yes, it's true in the sense of that we will have four different shifts. One with the eclipses, karmic eclipses that have been in Aries and Libra for the past 18 months, that will change into Pisces and Virgo by mid January in just another week. And then Neptune, 14 long years, after 14 years, will be changing signs from Pisces to Aries, as well as Saturn has been in Pisces for the past 2.5 years. That's changing to Aries too. And then Uranus, after 7 long years, has been in Taurus. That'll be changing to Gemini. And then Jupiter, after a year, will change from Gemini to Cancer. So that's why those are huge shifts. That's after so many years we've been there. Now we're getting thrust into the future, and not to be undermined, we've had Pluto in Capricorn for the past 18 years that just switched signs at the end of November, and we're still feeling that shift as we are here in January, as there are a lot of Capricorn aspects in January too. So, regarding Pluto in Aquarius, I will not be discussing it in its entirety and go into detail in this video because for two reasons. One is I have completed a dedicated Pluto in Aquarius video for each sign, which actually takes you 5 years into the future. Because I thought doing just a year spread would just not give you something to bite on. And since it's a 20-year journey, I wanted to find the magic spot, and I think 5 years will do it. Also, because Pluto is only transversed only at 1 degree of Aquarius. Pluto is a very slow moving planet. And the second reason I have not uploaded it yet is because I wanted to get these yearly horoscopes out of the way. All right. So hopefully you're subscribed so you can be notified as soon as I'm done with these yearly scopes. Got Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces left. I'll be uploading that Pluto in Aquarius dedicated video. But here briefly, Aquarius is your third house, and that covers your communication. Communication, remember, is not just you talking, it's also listening to the other or others. Your communication style, the tone you take, and body language. Um, it also covers commuting, so any kind of transportation, cars, bicycles, planes, trips, buses, and so forth. It is also the house of siblings, cousins, and extended family. It is also your neighbors and your neighborhood. It is the house of community, but your very close knit community, your circle of close community. It covers eyesight, so vision, and also language. So any language other than your own. And it is the house of how you think, your thinking, how you're taking in information. And it is also teaching, but on a micro level. And not so much, like a teacher in a school or a professor. You'll be teaching small, valuable information. And it is ruled by Gemini. The third house natally is ruled by Gemini, and Gemini is all about the news and contracts and agreements. Um, it rules the airline industry. Some of you might be going into that. It rules social media. Okay, and technology can be used here. So, but mainly, it is the house of communication. So it's your need to be heard. Okay. And you have actually gotten a taste of Pluto in Aquarius because it entered earlier this year for a few short months, and then it retrograded back into Capricorn. Now let's discuss Pluto in Capricorn because that was a huge shift. That was 18 long years. Now, first regarding Pluto, and some of you might be like pros at astrology or experts, or you've heard my videos before, but for the sake of new listeners and novices, bear with us. So, Pluto is the god of the underworld. He rules souls. Um, he rules the minerals and riches of the earth. Seeds that you plant, they're nurtured underground first before they can sprout. Pluto rules also fear. Because he was the god of the underworld, people feared him. And he also rules power structures and um, power plays, control. He rules control, and he is the ruler of Scorpio. Scorpio is a very intense sign, and it rules also the taboos, secrets, um, and intimacy. Pluto was a little different from his other two brothers, Zeus and Neptune. They ruled, Zeus ruled the air and the lightning and the sky, and Neptune the ocean, and Pluto was given the underworld. But he could permeate between both worlds, but he was mostly in the underworld. He couldn't leave it, so he was not even on Mount Olympus with the other gods and his brother. So Pluto rules also being alone or loneliness, that feeling of loneliness. And Capricorn is it's a winter month, so it's dark and cold. Capricorn is stern. Um, it is very pessimistic. It rules tradition, conservative. It's a conservative sign. Um, and if you've ever seen the Capricorn picture, not the new ones where it just shows the goat, but renditions of the old pictures of Capricorn, it is actually half goat, half fish. So Capricorn can go to the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean, of which we have not even explored yet. We've explored the universe more than the depths of our oceans. And yet it is a social climber. So the goat can climb the steepest cliffs and still be steady, rock solid, and cannot be knocked off. It's methodical in its approach, and it's very reserved and cautious. Capricorn rules um, government and government structure, so the power of government. Capricorn also rules the military, excuse me, old money, and all that good stuff. So these last 18 years have been doubly hard, doubly pessimistic, doubly dark. I mean, Capricorns are beautiful people. Don't get me wrong. They're the only one of the only signs that you can really depend on because they are so steady and will always come through. They're consistent. But it takes a toll on somebody when you're that upright and consistent. So that's why they're so reserved and seem cold, yet they're very, very compassionate people. But for the sake of what I'm trying to relate to you is the last 18 years has been brutal in the sense of, especially for you as a fire sign, it has been very, very hard and all that. And you have faced your deepest fears with Pluto being in Capricorn. And Capricorn is your house of job, income, and that is the money you bring home, and your value system. The second house can also cover marriage. Um, so with Pluto, what he wants to do is he wants to take you down deep to your inner fears and confront you with it so that he can destroy that fear and empower you. So, the example of stepping into a room, a dark room, and having the door shut behind you, you become afraid. You're like stretching out your hands to make sure you don't there are objects or walls. And but if you stay still, actually the light at the back of your eye starts to illuminate, and you can make out the walls and objects in front of you. And once you have once you can see through the dark, then that fear is gone naturally. And that's what Pluto intended on doing with your second house of job, income, and value system. So security, the security of fending for yourself, or your value system, your worth, who you will and will not sell out for, is considered here too. The conditioning you've had about money, how you value money, and all that. And Sagittarians have gone, like I said, to hell and back regarding money, and because it was an 18-year transit, other planets were doing other things and interacting with Pluto and setting up a play that you would be in. So it could have involved money and with friends, your value system and your community. It could have played out between siblings, between family, between recreation, drugs, alcohol. A myriad of scenarios could have played out. I actually know a Sagittarian who was who went away to school, but they couldn't get a job, and they were a smoker, and they were so stressed out that they couldn't afford cigarettes, let alone food. Some of them were going around picking up cigarette butts from the street to smoke. Well, that one, not some of them, but that particular Sagittarian friend was doing that, and that it took a toll on her, and she went through this internal conflict about her values and what she has come down to, and blah blah blah, and all of that. Other people could have made you feel that you were less of value here, so you've gone through that. You've faced your fear, and now you are a powerful person regarding job, income, and value system. Some of you might not be working, or between jobs, or got a really good job with income, but there is no more fear regarding your job and income. You know what to do. You have the power. You know how to land on your feet with your second house of job and income. So congratulations on that, and that is gone forever. Don't ever think that it'll come back, and you really don't care because, like I said, you have the power now. It is in the rearview mirror. But what shifted here was an ending of some sort. There was a big ending here. Uh, and what triggered it was Mars. We had the famous Mars versus Pluto showdown that happened exact on November 3rd. Mars entered Cancer at the end of September, and Cancer is your eighth house of joint finances, sex. We call it the house of sex, death, and taxes. So sex can mean, yes, sex, but it is also intimacy, like true intimacy, bearing your soul to the other. Uh, excuse me. Death can mean death, but no astrologer can predict death. That is God only. And it would be blasphemous for any astrologer to do that, to predict death. And taxes really is about taxes, yes, but it also covers government benefits. Or benefits from a like a company or something like that. I did mention joint finances, I hope. And then as well, inheritance is covered here, and the past, and taboos and secrets, like I mentioned earlier. So Mars is the god of war. Okay, Mars only has one duty, and he only knows one thing, and it is to go forward, direct, and with heat and urgency. So, for example, Mars will say, "What do you want?" And you'll say, "I want that." And Mars will be, let's go get it." It doesn't stop to think about consequences, about anything. If he faces a giant or a baby, he just goes right through them. Uh, that is his mission, is to get you what you want. So, a fire, a heat is lit under you to go get it. It is about getting what it is. And it rules Aries, fiery Aries, your fellow fire sign. And Aries is all about image and me first. So you can imagine the conscious of Mars and its speed and its intensity. Well, it was running through and it came to a dead smack headbutt into Pluto. Like I said, exact on November 3rd. For a lot of you, you could have felt it before that or even after that. But Pluto doesn't fear anything. Um, So yeah, Mars does not fear anything. He is fearless. He doesn't care he's going up against Pluto, and Pluto also is fearless, but in a more confident way, because he is the ruler of the underworld. And actually, Pluto welcomes the destruction that Mars wants to do, because Pluto wants to deconstruct, destroy, to transform. So Pluto said, "Okay, you want me? Come at me. I got you. I'll be your Huckleberry." I love that movie. I forget the actor. And yes, there was a crash and there was an ending because it's an opposition. There are good oppositions where both benefit, and there are very challenging oppositions where it's my way or the highway. Okay, and Cancer also rules the family natally. So there was this opposition, this destruction between your two major money houses. So your eighth house of joint finances and your second house of income and value system. Excuse me. And something ended there. It could have been a relationship. It could have been a marriage. It could have been um, uh, a friendship. It could have been regarding family, but something ended. And it was also working with the eclipses, and I'll discuss that a little later. But the fallout there was humongous, and it was emotional. And we didn't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. So after the fallout, in December, when we had the Capricorn activity, we started seeing compromises and discussions to a solution. Uh, the first week, we saw the talk of a compromise being introduced. The second further discussion of this compromise came in during the solstice, right before Christmas or during Christmas. And then the final way forward uh, of an opportunity that was presented, or you're seeding the hope of a new way forward, was during the new Capricorn moon at the end of December, New Year's Eve, at about around that day, regarding your again your second house of job, income, and your value system. and regarding, um, yeah, that was just Capricorn. We still had the disintegrating Pluto versus Mars opposition, but that had broken up. But we geared up for another opposition. I'll talk about that when I go through the January lineup. Now, Mars also left Cancer at after that opposition with Pluto and entered Leo. Leo is your ninth house of travel. It's long distance travel, about higher education, foreigners, and foreign lands. Um, it has to do with philosophy, publishing, and the World Wide Web. So there was some heat and intensity, action, and there could have been heated discussions or arguments regarding your ninth house of travel, foreigners, education, and all that. And there was some kind of a fallout there as well, because that Pluto opposition was still there. This Mars versus Pluto fight um, is going to continue all the way up to April. Why? Because but Pluto will be in a different sign, of course. It changed signs at the end of November. Now it's in Aquarius, so it's about your communication style. So why it's going to be that long is because Mars rarely does a retrograde, but it is doing a retrograde in Mars and Leo all the way into April. Um, because December 1st, Mars stopped going direct and started retrograding back into Leo. And on the 6th of January, it'll retrograde all the way back into Cancer. And then it'll start going direct into Cancer and then move into Leo. So it's going back and forth over these degrees. It's a 6 month Mars transit. Mars only does a few weeks in each sign, so this is huge. There's something there that needs resolution. Okay, so like I said, it entangles your eighth house of joint finances, inheritance, benefits, government benefits, and your ninth house of travel, foreigners, and education. And somehow family is involved in all this. Also, Leo rules the natally, it rules the fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, and pets. So that was also in the mix. If it wasn't already crowded, that was also in the mix in all of this. Okay, so that brings us to January, and I'm going to go through your January scope now, since this is January 2025 and year ahead. So let me just pull up my notes. Sorry, that's my pug snoring. My baby. All right. Um, all right. So on the second, which has passed already, um, Mars in Leo is retrograding back and opposed Pluto in Aquarius. Leo again is your ninth house of foreigners, long distance travel, higher education, and publishing, and your philosophy. So when Mars is retrograde, Mars hates going backwards. Like I told you, his only mission is going forwards and direct. He finds it useless to go backwards. um, but so when it's going retrograde, it is drudging through. It's still going forward, but it's drudging through those degrees once again. He's probably digging a tunnel into the underworld to get Pluto back. um, but yeah, what I'm trying to communicate to you here is when Mars is retrograde, it's an internal conflict. It's not, the energy is directed back internally within you. It's not an outward thing. So if you try to um, do that outwardly, that heat, that action, you get pushed back that much harder. So it is wise to use self discipline and restraint, and try to resolve it within yourself. Use that energy to resolve it within yourself first. And then on the second, we have Venus that entered Pisces, which is beautiful. That is your fourth house of home and family. And whatever fallout you may have had regarding your home and family is going to start smoothing over with Venus, because Venus um, rules, it attracts money, love, fortune, fame, and people that make things right. Okay. On the 6th of January, we are having Mars that is retrograding. It retrogrades back from Leo all the way into Cancer. So we are going to again be reviewing and thinking about what Mars did regarding your eighth house of joint finances. There's going to be more discussions about what happened between the end of September and October regarding joint finances. Or any inheritance, or like I said, intimacy and all that. So we're going to be working on that. Again, Mars is retrograde, so you don't want to push here regarding joint finances. You want it's you'll get pushed back. So use that energy to resolve the conflict within yourself. On the 14th of January, Jupiter in Gemini. Gemini is your seventh house of partners, contractual partners, business partnerships, platonic partnerships, and anybody who knows you really well, who can hold up a mirror to you. So even a brother can be a partner, a cousin can be, a friend can be a partner, okay? Um, Jupiter in Gemini squares Venus in Pisces. So there will be tension with a partner regarding your home and family, and it could be with a parent. Like I said, anybody can be a partner, but there's that tension. And like I said, Mars and Pluto are still going at it. And on the 11th, we do have the lunar nodes um, entering Pisces and Virgo. And I'll explain this a little bit later because that involves a little more information. But just note it on your calendar for the 11th. Something ends, some repetitive cycle ends. It's a karmic cycle, but I'll discuss that later. On the 13th, we do have a powerful full moon in Cancer. And again, that is your eighth house of sex, intimacy, joint finances, inheritance, benefits. Something here comes to an end. Or it could be the culmination or the fruition of your past efforts. Remember, Mars is still going through that. Um, and take note of this date because that sort of gives you a sneak peek into how this transit of Mars in Cancer will come to a close when it goes direct and finishes its tour of Cancer, which is March, April, when it goes direct. On the 16th, we have another opposition. We have, yeah, I know. We start the year with all this intensity, all this action. So the sun in Capricorn, which is your second house of job and income and values, will oppose Mars this time in Cancer, and Cancer is your eighth house. So this is two very important houses. This is two money houses for you, and it's the sun illuminates. It's an illumination of your values, of your job, your income. It illuminates why it's being opposed uh, by your joint finances, or why your second house is opposing any change in your joint finances, inheritance, and tax issues. It could be just about taxes. You're filing your taxes. Um, could be a partner's income has taken a hit where you need to provide more regarding your own income, or it could be vice versa. Your partner might have their income start booming here, and it would be good. And you can plan to spend more money here, or you could see your own income slow down or pick up. Could be a new job, a promotion, or it could be a loss of a job because maybe you're doing something else with a job. There are good oppositions and there are challenging ones. Um, this could be a good opposition because um, the sun is the nurturing father, okay? And you've already gone through the power trips with Pluto and Capricorn. So you're a powerhouse here. And Cancer is the ruler of home and family and the nurturing mother natally. So it is in both the sun, the nurturing father, it's just an allegory, an analogy, and Cancer, the nurturing mother, for both to benefit. So this opposition can be good. Someone, both these houses get something out of this, okay? So that's why I said this may be a good opposition. Again, depending on your natal chart, your rising sign, and all that. Um, so I gave you the example of maybe an inheritance comes through, or you hear about it, or your partner's income is booming, or your income is booming, etc., and etc. Or it could be about a government benefit that you've applied and it comes through, or maybe a school grant or something like that. Because the sun also rules, the Fifth. Well, yeah, I made a mistake, so I'm not gonna. I thought about it before I made the mistake, so I haven't made a mistake. You're still good. All right. So on the 18th, Saturn will conjunct Venus in Pisces, and Pisces is your fourth house. First, Saturn loves Venus, and Venus has been smoothing or bringing in a family, a partner, or money. Like I said, on the second, Venus entered Pisces. This aspect may be like a stern disciplinary father figure, because that's what Saturn is, that is either taking you under their wings and trying to teach or show you boundaries within either being too sensitive or a blind compassion you may have regarding your home and family or a family member, um, or about the past or about a loss or maybe about a secret, or you, excuse me, you might see it as this father figure doesn't understand you. If it's because Saturn conjunct, it can be a little tension here, so you might see it as this father figure doesn't understand you or is withholding compassion or love, because Saturn withholds, it restricts, or their actions in the past is what is creating this tension. You're remembering the past. There is still love there because, like I said, Saturn loves Venus, he adores her. But it might be an unconscious, maybe it's a daddy issues, but it is coming from love and compassion. Or you can be like realizing that this partner who is like a father figure, or again, it may be your own father, is the only one you can really rely on. Or if it is not your father, you can realize that you have been maybe projecting any daddy issues onto your partner. Like you may get a flood of memories regarding past partners and how you may have idealized them, um, and or you've lost partners, um, and there's some kind of realization about father protector, and this compassionate thing here that's being taught to you. Okay, on the 21st, Saturn conjuncts Aquarius. This can be a little bit more tense. Um, it's not like Saturn loves Venus. Saturn thinks of Venus as his daughter. Saturn conjunct Aquarius, something is illuminated here regarding your communication style, your tone, neighbors, your community, maybe siblings here, cousins, social media, um, the way you are thinking, or something about commuting. This can be somewhat of a, like I said, tense aspect if you see this as a criticism, because again, the sun is like the father figure, but this is the nurturing father, the sun. Or it can be a father figure is maybe defending you or helping you think or communicate differently regarding maybe a fallout with a neighbor or a cousin or a sibling, or if you are maybe being bullied online, because social media is involved here. Or it can be you are diligently working, learning, or communicating something new. So you're researching. So just watch the 21st for that. On the 23rd, we have now Mercury in Capricorn opposing Mars in Cancer. Again, this is your money house axis. So Capricorn, your second house of your own income, and Cancer, eighth house of your partner's income or inheritance or what have you. Maybe so we had first, like I said, the sun opposed Cancer. Now we have Mercury opposed Cancer. So this may be a heated or verbal conflict regarding the illumination with the opposition of the sun versus Mars, or thinking more intensely about that because Mercury rules thinking, or more discussions on how to go forward either way. If it was a, like I said, if it was a good or a deadlock, challenging opposition. This opposition is setting you up for success though, because when Mars will go direct in Cancer, because Mars is retrograde here. So when it goes direct in Cancer in March or April, um, because like I mentioned, um, it's going back and forth over these degrees to perfect something, to resolve something. Okay, so put that on your calendar. On the 29th, we do have a new moon in Aquarius. This is a very, very nice opportunity. It's an ingenious or a flash idea or hope, or you might be seeding the hope of a new way regarding communication or a commuting project. It could be inclusive or coming through from siblings or cousins, and it could be about maybe social media. Maybe you have something of a social media or a blog where you're getting opportunities, ideas, ingenious discussions regarding your blog or your social media. Or maybe you're thinking about changing or moving neighborhoods. A new opportunity can be discussed, but it is regarding a theme of group effort or a circle of people very familiar to you, and something that everyone benefits here. So that is the new moon, and it usually takes like 6 months down the road for a culmination of it, or maybe it could take longer. On the 30th, the sun in Aquarius, again, your third house, will trine Jupiter in Gemini, your seventh house. This is beautiful. The sun is illuminating the new moon idea that helps actually your partnerships, whether platonic, business, or intimate, or vice versa. Because very interesting, because on the 30th, Uranus will station direct in Taurus. Wow. All right. So this is very important. Um, I don't know if you're a new listener, but my loyal listeners, I harp about planets stationing to go direct or retrograde. Pay attention to like a day before, the day of, or the day after, what have you, because when a planet stations, it lifts the veil for you to see the future of what will happen here. Okay, so an abrupt shift, and you start getting busy again, because the last when it was retrograding, you might have gotten a reprieve from this busyness. Taurus is your sixth house of health, habits, routines, scheduling, um, and your house of busyness and chaos and gossip is also inclusive here, or of taking care of someone because it's in relation to Virgo. Um, yes, astrology is layered and a wheel within a wheel within a wheel. Um, so yeah, you start getting busy here, and it's coinciding with this new moon and illumination. Like I said, this is important because Uranus is ending its tour of Taurus after 7 long years. So this is giving you a sneak peek. The veil is lifted for you to see how this ending will be. So pay attention on that. And that covers January. So we're done with January. Now I'll be discussing the other major themes for you. And then after I'm a short synopsis on all the other themes, and then I'll be going February through December, but only hitting on major aspects. So let me just grab my notes. Okay, so we're now thrusted in the future. I'm going to be talking about that. So the first movement is the nodes, this north and south node. For the past 18 months, it has been in Aries and Libra. So there has been this karmic, repetitive situation um, between Aries, which is your fifth house of love, romance. I'm sorry, that's my pug. Um, Love, romance, children, a child, a pet, and something about image because Aries rules the image, or it's the me first sign. It also rules freedom. It's ruled by Mars. It just wants to go forward. It needs freedom even within a relationship. And the South Node had been occupied by Libra. Libra is your 11th house of friends, groups, and associations. And Libra rules all types of relationships here. Libra is a powerful cardinal sign, but Libra is known to be indecisive and not really stubborn, but because it rules, it needs to be in a relationship no matter what. So there might be some neediness or codependency with Libra. So the past 18 months, like I said, a repetitive push and pull between a lover, a romance, or a child, and something regarding your friends or groups and circles, relationship there that was codependent. So Aries wanted to be free of this, not necessarily relationship, not necessarily um, a friendship. It didn't want to get rid of the friendship or that relationship, but it wanted to be free within that friendship, within that relationship. It doesn't want to be, doesn't want to have the codependency because it needs to do things on its own. It wants freedom. And Libra kept pulling at you and saying no. There was some sort of a neediness here. So we have had that karmic situation with the last 18 months, and it did come to a blow up. in October. First with the solar eclipse on the 1st, which was in Libra. So something new about a friendship that opposed Aries, your fifth house of romance and love. There was a problem there. Um, and then we had a full moon in Aries, which was which was very emotionally fiery to say the least. And something ended regarding a love or a romance or something like that, or an issue about that. Um, but that has been going on, like I said, for the past 2 years. And what happens is mid January on the 11th, that ends. That neediness, that codependency ends. Okay. So either the relationship ends here, it's severed, or the relationship stays, but that neediness, that codependency disappears. So everyone's happy in some way. Okay. So it's either one or the other. And nodal eclipses are major beginnings and major endings, major starts and major stops. Okay. Now, after the nodes leave Aries and Libra, they will go into the North Node will go into Pisces, which is your fourth house of home and family and faith and the past, and the South Node will enter Virgo, which is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures. So there will be a repetitive karmic situation that will play out for the next 2 years regarding home and family and your faith and the past, and regarding your status, your reputation, your career. Status is married, not married, engaged, not engaged, boyfriend, girlfriend, or platonic, something like that. And most of you will be moving. I'll be discussing that with the next major shift, but it will be somewhere. There's water here, something about water, ocean. There will be a move. For those of you who have moved, there will be another move. For those of you who haven't moved, there is a move. All Sagittarians are going to move. Or it might be renovation, but it's a major renovation. It's not like just fixing, some broken pipes or adding a room or something. There's a major shift here in regarding your physical home and your career and status. There are going to be endings here, but also beginning and successful beginnings. It's working along with Aquarius, your third house, and your family, maybe a family business. Something huge is coming. So we're going to have that repetitive cycle for the next 2 years, and it is karmic. So think back about 18 years ago, and you are either owed or you owe, because it's about karma. Uh, what eclipses do? They tangle two houses because you need both trouble free so that both work well. That will be the ending of it. That's how it transforms. Okay, now we move to the next big shift that'll happen is Neptune in Pisces. After 14 long years, will leave Pisces and it will enter Aries. And Saturn as well, a few weeks later, will leave Pisces and it will enter Aries as well. So for many, many Sagittarians, it has been a very soulful, very emotional, um, cathartic kind of journey here with Neptune the past 14 years regarding your home, your family, your parents. The fourth house also covers like country and patriotism and all that. And you might have had two homes, or you could have been temporarily between homes, um, or and by water, or sometimes not, or you could have been traveling between homes. If you're a student, it's natural that you were at home and abroad for school, um, or something about it's a dual theme. Okay, Neptune and Pisces. Pisces is the sign of the two fishes. One goes one way, and the other one goes the other way. um, but it is the sign of compassion as well. Um, and many of you have had loss regarding your home and family, maybe a parent or parents, and my condolences to that. I'm very sorry. Um, or you could have had, okay, so Neptune, what Neptune does, he is the ruler, the god of the ocean and the seas. um, he is he rules the movie and music industry. He rules romance, romanticizing something, idealizing something. He rules fragrances and perfumes, drugs and alcohol, um, the past, compassion, faith. Faith is huge with Neptune. um, and dreams, like visions. Okay. Not like, a dream you saw and you can't remember. No, no, these are like either repetitive dreams, or you feel in your dream like it's almost real. So it's very visionary. But Neptune is also the god of illusion and deception. It is the siren's call to the sailors that get lost at sea. They're mesmerized, and they get lost searching for that siren call. It rules fog and mist, and anything that's dreamy. But Neptune, even though it sounds nebulous when I described it like that, Neptune also has a purpose. And Neptune's purpose is to soften something that's harsh. So the simplest example would be, you step into a pool or the ocean to go swimming and it's freezing. But once you dip down all the way in, your entire body is in. You acclimate instantly. Your body becomes numb to that coldness, and you can, if you're not careful too, there's you can be swimming off and you could be taken carried away by the waves. But that numbness is the example I'm trying to portray to you. Anything that's harsh, Neptune softens it. It gives you rose colored glasses to look through at it. And the fourth house of home and family is a very, very emotionally deep rooted home. It is your conditioning. It is what you experienced when you were growing up. And they say, but like by age 8, you already think it's a good world or a bad world. Um, so any trauma where it's hidden deep inside of you, is found there in the fourth home. It is your safety, your safe space. And many of you became infatuated or enchanted, or maybe even have idealized any about things about your home and family. Maybe you dreamed of the perfect home, or to have that perfect family, and it became your safe space. Your home became, even if you're not with your parents, but even if you were living alone, and like I said, many of you were between homes, it became your haven. It became your vacation. It was a feel good thing, something about your home, even if it was a shitty neighborhood or a shitty space, but you thought it was just, roses and meadows. And you came upon issues regarding boundaries, because what Neptune does is it erases boundaries. It pulls you out to ocean, the sea. Like I said, you're all at sea. And there were instances where people crossed boundaries regarding your home, um, or about your family, or about your parents. Maybe you had this vision of your parents, but then you started, yeah, idealizing that. Now, that started February 12th, Valentine's Day, 2012. And Neptune was left alone. You were left alone with Neptune, and it became very romantic and all that. But 2023, Saturn came in with a thump and was like, "Oh, no, 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 oh, no, no, Neptune, you've gone way too far here." So Saturn is the planet of restriction, constriction, withholding. He's the stern disciplinary, um, and he is the planet of structure and foundation and boundaries. So Saturn came in 2023 and threw you an anchor because you were getting lost here. You were going off and off. You were drifting, and actually started pulling you back to shore, and started setting up boundaries where he restricted something about your home and family. Um, and some of you could have experienced that loss that I mentioned during that period, or beginning in that period, because, well, I'm not going to get technical. And Saturn is misunderstood. He is actually super beneficial. He is the one who helps you materialize what Neptune has idealized. That is the story between Neptune and Saturn. They work together, and you actually are blessed to have Saturn come in the nick of time. Um, and he has been continuing to do that. Okay. And we are going to discuss this final ending, this final chapter regarding this a little later on. But Neptune, after 14 years, like I said, will exit Pisces and then will enter Aries. Saturn, a few weeks later after that, will also leave Pisces and enter Aries. Now, Aries is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. And Aries, of course, is the me first sign, so it's all about image and going forward. So something here will be idealized, romanticized, maybe about a lover or a child, and what will be idealized because it's Aries, because it's the warrior. A child or a lover, you may, or even maybe a pet. It will be, you'll idealize them, you romanticize them as this hero, this compassionate warrior of yours, um, this soft machoism, or I don't know how to say that word. Or you could be really, really creative, um, uh, with a job, maybe, because it is going to be interacting and playing with Pluto and Aquarius. But I'm not going to go too far in there. But again, Neptune is the sign of illusion and deception, and pulling you out to the ocean. So this time around, Saturn is saying, "Oh no, 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 no! We're not going to start this way again." He comes in a few weeks later, also into Aries, and actually does not is not like he was in Pisces. Um, he actually is going to. He's not going to restrict, but he's going to um, give you tools of stability and how to structure a foundation from the beginning. He's going to say, okay, yes, you're romanticizing this, you're idealizing this, that's fine, but what you want is, you want to materialize it. So here are the tools, here's the anchor, here's the net. Your rose-colored glasses are going to be like bifocals. The bottom half will be clear. And that's what Saturn will be doing right from the get-go, which is absolutely wonderful. It's great because Aries is a fire sign, so it can be combative too, if it left alone with Neptune and this idealization. So not to worry, Saturn is going to be along for the ride, and that ride of Saturn will be for 2.5 years, just enough time for him to know that you do have a structure, you do have a foundation, and you do have boundaries and enough tools in your tool chest. Then Saturn will feel it's okay to leave you to your own devices with Neptune. And he'll give a warning to Neptune before he leaves. I'll do a dedicated video for Neptune and Saturn and Aries for each sign in the near future to give you more of a hint, because Neptune is a 12 to 14 year transit as well. All right, so I'm going to discuss a little bit more on that during your lineup, because because we have an ending here as well. So it's going to be very cathartic. And remember, we're going back to the past in the latter half of the year. Now, the next big, huge shift is going to be Uranus. After 7 long years transiting Taurus, your sixth house of health, habits, routines, scheduling, taking care of someone, and all that. And you have been quick on your feet with that. You were able to bounce left and right. Why? Because Uranus is the planet of shock, surprise, and electricity. Um, it is quirky. Where you thought you would be going regarding your daily habits and routines, or taking care of someone, has shifted abruptly every so often within these past 7 years, and it has been almost shocking or surprising to you. So you may have had a job that maybe you were burning the candle at both ends. Suddenly you might have lost that job, because what Uranus is doing is looking out for your health, and your health might have suffered. Okay, I know a Sagittarius who was doing Uber for a really long time, and all of a sudden it stopped with the pandemic. Why? And then we were talking, and she actually said, well, thank God for that, because my lower back started hurting, and another one gained a lot of weight. So so Uranus, the planets don't hate us. They do these things to set us up for success in a way that we might not understand it. We're too minuscule to understand how these planets affect us down here. It's weird. I don't know how it is, but they do. So yeah, we do have a couple more surprises before Uranus leaves Taurus. Um, for some, you might not even feel it. For others, there may be a couple more surprises here, or a quick, abrupt ending. But it is Uranus's intention to free you of something that is not working for you anymore. Then Uranus will enter Gemini with a not like a thump, but like a surprise, like a lightning strike. I'll give you an example of how Uranus sometimes shocks. When Uranus first entered Aries, back I believe in 2010 or 2011, and it entered Aries, a fire sign, a very hothead fire sign. At the same minute and degree it entered, we had the Fukushima nuclear explosion. So that's how Uranus works, abruptly and with surprise and shock. So Uranus is going to be entering your seventh house of partners, um, to shake up that house of yours. It's been way too dull for you. Some of you might welcome it, some of you might not, but have heart. It is a very nice, as you can see, we are leaving the water and the earth signs, and we are going into air and fire signs. And for you as a Sagittarius, that is wonderful. That is great, because they trine all these signs trine your sign, and Gemini air and your fire. So that can light up your fire. It's really exciting. It's a very exciting. And Sagittarians love exciting adventures. Um, and somehow communication, commuting is involved here. Maybe even social media or siblings, because Gemini is natally the third house, rules the third house of communication and commuting. You might meet someone within your community, or through a cousin or a sibling can set you up. Mm, or you might be just at the supermarket and you meet someone really interesting. Or it could be you might go into the airline industry. I see a lot of Sagittarians doing that, and meet different kinds of people. Or you might be just at the grocery store, um, or if you work in communications, news. Yeah, something about that. I'm just checking my notes. Um, I will be discussing the Venus retrograde too, because that'll be important for you. Because Venus doesn't usually retrograde, very rarely, and this year it will. And when Venus retrogrades, she is famous for bringing back ex partners or lovers, or this can be a business or a platonic partnership. Remember, it's the seventh house of contractual partners or people who know you really, really well. Yeah, but there might be a surprise with an ex. Um, I'm just checking my notes. Excuse me. I'll stop this and get a drink of water. Oh my gosh, I'm already at an hour. Ah, uh, hopefully I'll wrap it up by an hour and a half. If not, I'll have to split up this video. So yeah, expect this shift, and to get a clue, but it'll be just a really faint clue, because to get a clue, Jupiter has been transiting Gemini, your seventh house of partnership. So since summer last year, it entered your partnership house, and that started expanding. And it still has another 6 months to go, because Jupiter then will change signs from Gemini into Cancer. So whatever has been expanding regarding your partnerships, that's just like a faint flavor, theme of what to expect with Uranus. But Uranus, you cannot expect anything. Uranus does not do slow and measured. It's by surprises, and shocking surprises. And also, because it is Gemini, it might be two partners. Um, and because Gemini, maybe you'll travel between two partners or two homes. Again, partners is not only intimate partners, it can be any type of a partnership, okay? And then this is a nice segue into the next major shift, which will be Jupiter leaving Gemini and entering Cancer. And Cancer is your eighth house. I discussed it at length in the beginning, but if you're skipping, it is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, sex, taxes, inheritance is huge here. Um, uh, Secrets, the taboo, government benefits, any lump sums of money that you benefit from others, okay? And how others value you. So Jupiter is a benefic planet, and it is actually your ruler. And it's a planet that gives you luck and protects you. And Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. It loves being in Cancer. Um, so this is major for you. You get the best of all these worlds. You get the protection of Jupiter, the luck of Jupiter, and the exaltation of it being in Cancer. So your eighth house here is set to expand in one way, and not one way, in a lot of ways. Um, Benefactors here, your partnership, your partner, their income might be expanding so much here. Family, because Cancer rules family. So some kind of an expansion about family. Um, it is also the mortgage. So you might be going into a mortgage thing. Um, and all that. But if there are problems for some of you, I don't see it, but a sliver of you. And again, depending on your natal chart and your rising sign, moon sign, even, if there are problems, Jupiter will expand problems here. Okay. Um, because it's working with Saturn and all these other planets. If you want to know what the flavor will be with Jupiter in Cancer, think back 12 years ago, because Jupiter takes 1 year to transit each sign, so it takes 12 years to do the whole zodiac sign. So 12 years ago, Jupiter was in Cancer for you, and it will not be the exact same thing because other planets were doing other things, but it's just again another faint flavor of what it is. But it is going to be really really huge for you with Jupiter here. Benefactors, family, joint finance. There's a getting together, a new family home, a lot of really really cool things. Wow. All right, so that's Jupiter. um, I'm just checking my notes. All right. And yes, we are done. So now I'm going to go through your yearly lineup, and there's a lot to cover. So let's start with February. February, let's see, Venus enters Aries. So on the 4th. So anything regarding your love, romance, children, creativity, there's going to be a lot of love going on here, or money is coming through this, or a creative project here sees a boom. A boom. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's what's going on here in February. That's the only thing and I do detailed monthly horoscopes, so I will be uploading a February scope in detail for each sign. In March, and this is very very important. This is where I think I'm going to go over um, a lot to cover, because this is really important for you. On the 13th of March, there will be a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. Sorry. That is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures. Sagittarius, something ends here, and it's a full stop. It's not a culmination, it's not a fruition, something ends here. Um, Either a career ends because it's gearing it up to give you another super career, or an authority figure in your life, or something about your maybe status or reputation ends. But there's an ending here, okay? It starts the it's the start of the next lunar eclipse cycle that I mentioned earlier. And to, well, not here, I'll say it later. On the 19th of March, the sun conjuncts Neptune in Pisces. Wow, this is beautiful, Sagittarius. Very dreamy and idealistic, very romantic. It can be very cathartic. A lot of tears could be shed here, like a watershed moment, though. Not like a sad, but a cathartic shedding of tears. This illuminates for you and others, because it's the sun, something of a release, a completion regarding any hardship you have had endured with your home and family or parents. This is the critical 29th degree. We astrologers call it the critical 20. Very, very important. It's the ending. It is the sun shining its warmth regarding an ending of a very soulful journey that you started regarding home and family back since 2012. Like I said, it's a watershed moment. It is a turning point. Uh, a cathartic healing through forgiveness of the past, of the insecurities, of traumas, beliefs. You truly understand what faith is here, because it's Pisces. Whether you are religious or not, you'll realize there's a higher power, um, and what it means and how it has helped you through this journey. It is a bitter, sweet, sympathetic ending. Um, Here is where you will thank Neptune for the ease and softness he has carried you through these past 14 years. This journey. Oh my God, I'm tearing up for you. This is a satisfying fulfillment of that completion, Sagittarius. Please don't think it's really and you'll remember me. It's a very nice thing. And whatever it is, remember Saturn is still in Pisces, supporting you, holding you up, and is gearing you up to the end of March. On the next most important is the 27th of March. Venus retrograde will conjoin Neptune in Pisces. At, again, the very critical 29th degree of Pisces. So, as you are still reviewing your Neptune journey because of Venus retrograde, and it may bring something up back from the past regarding your home and family, which will be like a trip down memory lane, but it will have the theme of an ending. Like I said, it could be a myriad of scenarios. You could be going through uh, you could be going back home after a really, really long time if you were away and seeing the separation you've had as melancholy because of the progression now. Um, you could be going through a hospice situation, maybe. You could have been like in an adoptive institution system, but like I said, like an institution rather than with a family, and you are an adult now, moving on from that, and you look back at it and say, as harsh as it was, it is what has made me. Or you could be getting married and leaving your parents and the home. Venus retrograde here is not malicious. Because Venus, when it retrogrades, can she can be nasty, but she's not here. She is divine and slowing down and beautifying the past regarding home and family. She's giving you solace, or Venus can manifest in someone being that solace for you. And like I said, you have gone through the healing and forgiveness here. So that solace can be through your, father or mother or something like that. So it may be giving you, or it may be you giving solace to others, maybe your parents uh, or something like Neptune was a very long transit. The ending or completion does not end in only one moment, Sagittarius. Thus, why Venus or planets doing a retrograde to make sure you're okay, and that's why we're going to revisit the past at the end of 2025. It could manifest in a very, very beautiful dream or dreams. Um, the fourth house is a very emotionally rooted house, and you are actually so very lucky to have Pisces, the sign of the fishes, the sign of faith, the sign of compassion, to encompass your fourth house. And doubly lucky that Neptune chose these years to enter Pisces, as Neptune is 100 times stronger in his home sign of Pisces. Yes, indeed, you you are ruled by Jupiter, and you are the golden child of the solar system. Not only the solar system, but you are the star of our universe. Sagittarius is a very important constellation in the Milky Way that is associated with actually the galactic center. Sagittarians Sagittarius is the largest, brightest star cloud, so bright that it is the most visible region of the Milky Way. I don't know if you know that. It's also a zodiac sign that's believed to be the protector of our solar system and our universe at large. As I said, it is ruled by Jupiter, who Jupiter takes all the hits from these asteroids and foreign objects as they try to hurl against Earth. Jupiter, you know, takes those hits, protecting Earth, and thus exemplified in your own life. You do take a lot of hits to protect humanity, your family, your friends, partners. You rule the truth and compassionate justice, and most importantly, the sign that embodies and exemplifies hope and optimism. So your purpose is to give all of us hope. That is why you are everyone's friend. You make friends easily, and everyone is infected with your hopeful attitude, and you will see everyone supporting you through this very important period, and everyone flocking to you to come out of any melancholy you might have gone through with Neptune, because everyone needs you to shine your light again. You have been like dimmed with Capricorn and Pisces. Again, those are beautiful signs, but your light has been dimmed. Um, Going through important shifts, and these other people, your family, your friends, your partners, they are also going through important shifts and need your hope and light for guidance along with it. Um, yes, even your very funny foot and mouth disease, but Pluto and Aquarius will work on that, and this will empower, lift, and get your parlez-vous français? I don't know if you guys speak French. Joie de vivre. I got to do that accent. Reminds me of my college French. Um, get your joie de vivre back, which means buoyant or cheerfulness and enjoyment of life again. Yeah, that had been drained out of you. To do this reconciliation of your home and family. Again, this is setting you up for the end of the month when Neptune enters Aries. You become the warrior general, the assistant. You will assist Aries as Neptune and later uh, Saturn comes into Aries. I will do, like I said, a dedicated video for Neptune and Saturn in Aries for each sign later. And I can spy yours will be long and again the star of the show. I'll probably upload yours first this time. I know Aries and all those signs get uploaded way before yours. So here we go. On the 29th of March, there is a partial solar eclipse in Aries. And see, like I said, a new beginning, a sneak peek of how your energy is being called upon by both the sun and the moon. Okay? So a new opportunity. On the 30th, Neptune enters Aries, and we see Neptune entering Aries, and you instantaneously are relieved of that heavy melancholy depth, soulful thing that you've been going through regarding home and family, and a fire is lit upon and under you. Aries is your fellow fire sign, and it's like, let's go. Um, April. So April 4th, this Saturn in Pisces sextiles Uranus in Taurus. Let me see what time I have on this. Yikes, I think I might have to do two. This is healing, support, regeneration from March. Since last 7 years of feast and famine and surprises of your hard work and daily routines and health, here it is winding down and healing your health mostly, gearing you up for a new routine. On the 4th, Mars in Cancer sextiles Uranus in Taurus. Mars in Cancer will trine Saturn in Pisces. Wow. And the healing and good vibes are all rolling in with the other planets, as we see with these sextiles and trines. And as Mars is direct now in Cancer and your eighth house of joint finances, that helps your daily routine, your job, your health. It is again associated with family or the mother or a mother figure. Um, and it is going to support you with joint finances. On the 7th, Saturn conjuncts Venus in Pisces. Like I said, Saturn loves Venus, but here it's serious. It may be about a child or a romance. One scenario could be coinciding with if a romance from the past and a new romance, maybe a serious decision is needed, or if it is only one person, discussions regarding boundaries, rules to manifest um, reality or a new way forward, or it could be a serious discussion regarding an ending or a closure. Just be careful of getting pregnant if you don't want to get pregnant, because you have a lot of Uranus activity and Aries activity and all that. If you don't want to be pregnant. On the 18th, Mars enters Leo, and you're off. Your philosophy, higher education, traveling more, interacting with foreigners, and it involves your Aquarius related house, as Mars will come to butt heads with Pluto in a few days, but this time you have the confidence and family, friends, groups all in your corner to resolve this upcoming battle with Pluto. So this could be a good opposition, finally, to that combat that started back in November and December and January. On the 20th, the Sun in Taurus squares Mars in Leo. The Sun is illuminating your sixth house and giving you energy to change your routine. The next major, and this is the next major aspect. This is the ending of the Mars and Pluto war. On the 26th, Mars in Leo opposes Pluto in Aquarius. So here we have the final showdown. But this time you have the confidence and, like I said, a group behind you all the way to resolve this upcoming battle. So this could be a good opposition, a finale to that combat. Okay, and Mars may win here. I'm rooting for Mars. On the 30th, Venus re enters Aries direct. So, whatever fallout you may have had from the past or regarding a lover, a romance, or a child, and if any ex lovers come back that may have showed up during the Venus retrograde, now you go forward with reconciliations, coming back, or resolution. If it has something to do with a past lover, you either release each other or you stay together and you're solid as a rock, because it is coinciding with Uranus shocking and surprising you in your seventh house of partners. May 2nd, Venus conjuncts Neptune in Aries, dreamy and lovely again, or idealistic love connection or longing regarding a lover, a romance, a child. The hero, the compassionate warrior here is exemplified. And Saturn enters Aries on the 24th. And I already discussed at length the reality checks and tools that Saturn will give you and start teaching you to manifest any dreams or visions you have regarding a lover or romance or a child, so that you can manifest those visions into reality. June 9th, Jupiter enters Cancer. Again, Jupiter very powerful here. It will expand this house, and it could be inclusive of family, clan, and of belonging to country or community. You are protected here. More sex, yes, but intimacy and trust will expand. Um, so this will be a good expansion, and you might get benefactors here through family or partners' finances who see a boom, and you benefit. All right, and the next thing is a tense aspect between, on the 15th, Mars in Leo will square Uranus in Taurus. Heat energy action regarding maybe setting up travel, foreigners, or education. So, so it's the shifting of your health and duty and routines, because it's ending. Uranus is ending its tour of Taurus, so you are in switch mode, trying to find the right balance. Okay, between your ninth house and your health and routine. Jupiter in Cancer will square Saturn in Aries on the 15th. So joint finances, inheritance, intimacy is expanding. And maybe a lover or a child or pet is needing money or trying to restrict you from overspending. Or maybe an inheritance, or how you deal with joint finances. It's good. It's Saturn, so it's giving you structure. Because on the 18th, a few days later, Jupiter in Cancer this time squares Neptune in Aries. So these squares, some type of a wake up call because of Jupiter's protection and Saturn pulling you back. Again, it may be a lover or a child or someone who may be a strong Aries firebrand, maybe related to government, military, that is relying or even supporting your joint finances. And Jupiter is trying to clear up any confusion, or if you are too hopeful regarding joint finances, Jupiter is trying to protect you here. But you may missee this as maybe jealousy or greediness. Mm, because remember, it's Neptune's illusions and thus a heated, tense argument and your own confusion about these warnings. Anyway, I'll probably discuss that more in your monthly scope. All right, let me see what time I'm at. Oh my God, only 5 minutes, but July, Uranus enters Gemini on the 7th. Yay! Stability and calmness comes to your sixth house of health and routine and chaos, and you start on an exciting journey with partners and with a dual theme. Sagittarius, just a word of caution, since you love independence, any lighthearted, fun talk with another, and if you are partnered, it might be seen as flirting or maybe even cheating. The other big word of caution here is Sagittarius has a tendency to be very adventurous. And since Neptune is in your love and romance house, and Gemini is the sign of twins, again, if you are partnered, or if your lover is partnered, you do not want to start that triangle situation here, an affair, or try to play someone off another. No, 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 no. Uranus is the planet of shock and surprise and does not do slow and steady. Remember, it is a wild roller coaster ride. It's feast or famine. Well, you may love it or find it exciting since you are adventurous and love freedom, but think of Uranus and respecting your partner or the other man or woman. And you certainly do not want to be the other woman or man. Most of you have dealt with that, and the fallout of that was not very nice. Remember with Capricorn and your second house of values? All right, so then I'm just reading my notes. On the 30th, Venus enters Cancer. So whatever tense situation that happened with Jupiter square in Cancer squaring Neptune and Saturn, this starts to smooth over. So again, it's joint finances, inheritance, benefits. You get a double boom here. Put that on your calendar. Buy a $1 lotto ticket on July 30th. Do not, or have your partner buy it. Do not gamble though. No gambling. I disapprove. August 6th, Mars will enter Libra. And you will be thinking or working behind the scenes. Sagittarius, Mars in Libra will trine Uranus in Gemini. This could be a new friendship that becomes a platonic or business partnership, or a friend becomes a romance thing and is gearing up to be, well, I'll just say that and we'll do the monthly scopes. On the same day, Mars in Libra will oppose Saturn retrograde in Aries. See? Now, so this friend lover partnership could be good or bad. But Saturn is warning you here. Opposition could be a friend stops being a friend and becomes a lover, or a current lover or child is opposed to a friend of yours because they may seem codependent or needy, because Libra can seem that way. Or again, just be careful with you romanticizing a friend. Mm, yeah. On the ninth, Mars in Libra will oppose Neptune. Because of the opposition to Saturn, um, the ninth might be a confusing or confusion. Yeah. So anything confusing action or confusion the day after regarding what I just mentioned with opposition with Saturn. But again, listen to your August scope. I'll do that in detail. On the 27th, Venus in Leo sextiles Uranus in Gemini. Nice. Venus in Leo trines Neptune in Aries. Retrograde. So this could be regarding a school project, concentration, or your thesis regarding male studies. Um, or you could meet someone at school. Again, it's Neptune, so it's idealizing the hero, the macho image. Excuse me. Sorry. Or if you're a man, it could be, you meet some type of a Joan of Arc kind of a woman. Um, just be careful. Just be careful. It's not your professor. Oh my God. Well, you are getting your joie de vivre back. So, yeah. Or you could meet a tall, dark, and handsome foreigner. Who knows? Um, while you're traveling or whatever. But it's same caution applies. What do I want to do? I want to do September 4th. Mars in Libra will square Jupiter in Cancer. Oh, if I haven't mentioned, Libra is your 11th house of friends and groups. Mars doesn't much like being in Libra because it's indecisive. And Mars rules Aries, which opposes Libra, the zodiac wheel. And mainly because Libra is indecisive, or, like I said, or stubborn and doesn't really care for freedom within relationships. Um, like Aries likes freedom within relationships, but Libra is powerful. She is a cardinal sign and also is associated with the law and scale. So this could be just anything about you working diligently with a friend or a group, maybe about red tape, about an inheritance or government benefit, or it could be about joint finances. Maybe you're getting engaged or married, maybe a prenup or agreement. If it's a business partnership, it could have the same theme. Or some of you may be in a group that is opposed to Neptune introducing the idea of romanticizing um, warriors, chauvinism, because Aries is the warrior, and it is all over the news or the fad at this time. And you might be in a group lobbying the government. You are a Sagittarius after all, and all into politics. But or you are hooking up with a lawyer, your lawyer. Um, or and again, you and a friend become intimate. This is the house of intimacy after all. Just remember the caution and the red flags. I know I'm seeming like a prude, uh, but here's the good news: Jupiter is a protector, and you're ruling planet. Um, but the caution is because it can expand problems as well. Um, and Libra is the sign of equal partnerships and justice, and it can be about, like I said, equal justice. Anyway, blah blah blah. Um, okay, on August, or we're in September, so we're back to the past. And on the 7th, there is a total lunar eclipse in Pisces. So, a karmic event regarding an ending, the ending you saw with the end of Neptune in Pisces situation. Um, I'll be discussing that more, like I said, with either a dedicated video. Definitely, I'm going to do one that, and in your September scope or August scope. But just to get a clue, we did have a solar eclipse. I think it was a solar eclipse on September 13th, 14th. Look up my September videos. I do have a dedicated video, I think, for that. But it's something karmic that you're getting the it's Pisces, so it's the north node, and Virgo is the south node. So, like I said, it's 18 months, so you're going to be getting these beginnings and endings, and this is an ending regarding your home and family. You know what? This could be where you are doing this major move. If you haven't already in the summer, I mean, not already. Okay, so on the 21st, partial solar eclipse in Virgo. All right, so this is a sneak peek because it's partial. It introduces you to an authority figure, a new career opportunity, which will be significant later on. But first, there will be more eclipse here to clear away any home and family situation. On the 22nd, Mars enters Scorpio. So you start to work behind the scenes or in secret, maybe just studying or researching. Hmm. Or you just need like time alone because all these major planets are retrograding, and because of all the hullabaloo of Uranus and signs shifting into Aries, and this spring through summer is going to be exhaustive. Well, I know you're a fire sign, and you're adventurous and you like that excitement, but because we've been so centered with Pisces, we've gone and Capricorn the last 18 years. For you, it's the situation of once bitten, twice shy. So you might be loving this, that you're just being alone and contemplating things, because you are gearing up for the finale, the last chapter. Um, well, you had that the ending in Pisces, but and Taurus, but um, a resolution or closure regarding that. That's what we're going to do. Now, everyone, you guys, please don't be like, oh my God, you got us all excited about this future stuff and the light of the galaxy, and now you're going to take us to the past. No, don't do that to us. I'm not. You're revisiting the past, but in a brand new world, and you are a brand new you, um, and you have all these people around you. You're not like before, so this revisiting has to happen. Planets go over back and forth over certain degrees for a reason. So just trust. So on the 14th of October, Venus in Libra will trine Uranus in Gemini. On the same day, Venus in Libra will trine Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, so with Mars in your secretive house and of the past and your psyche, and you benefiting from a friend, because Libra is your friendship house, um, and Gemini is also involved, your partner, or if you had a fallout with a partner, maybe a friend, or friends are smoothing things out with you and your partner. Um, because Pluto is in your communication house and is approving of this. So your hidden actions may be resulting in these trines. Maybe this is your first Pluto and Aquarius test that you pass. Uh, but just hold on, and not to the past, but to your newfound inner strength and power regarding your value system. When Pluto was in Capricorn, you've got that set. Remember, Pluto is about inner power, um, facing and losing your fear and control through sheer self discipline and restraint. Okay, um, so now you have the power, but it is still Pluto. And this test with Pluto and Aquarius might be you passing your communication style test regarding your values, because before you might have flown off the handle or lashed out, and here you might be communicating really well, so you pass the test. But okay, for most of you, there may be a sliver of you, because it is still Pluto. He may be setting you up for something, again, of a friend, love, child entanglement. And in regards to Aquarius being the community you associate with, it may result in some tension in the future regarding how your neighbors or community or your siblings, or maybe even social media, if you're like famous like that, see you, or how you can get into power struggles online, maybe. Or listen, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, okay, and want you to enjoy this new uplifting energy. You deserve it. Oh my God. And You have started feeling that, but my job is to cover all bases and scenarios because there are millions of Sagittarians, okay, who are quite adventurous, right? You guys are all with thousands of other scenarios that it can be played out with thousands of different charts. Each natal chart is actually specific to each person. Plus, I will have a Pluto and Aquarius dedicated video as well. I do detailed monthly scopes, and it all depends, like I said, on your rising sign. But if you remember your Pluto and Capricorn power, this is what I'm going to end this caution here with. So if you remember your Pluto and Capricorn power regarding your value system and your past conflicts with values and money, because like remember, Pluto also rules the past. Then you should be okay. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop. I promise. Beating a dead horse, and I'm moving on because it might be an excellent. This might be a new marriage. Who knows? I might be wrong, but um, a new marriage, new engagement, a new beautiful romance. I don't. But like I said, I need to cover all these millions of Sagittarians. On November 6th, Mars enters Sagittarius. Woo! Now you're on fire. Nothing is stopping you now. Um, yeah, so this is past. Reflection with Neptune, Saturn, and Pisces, and Uranus and Taurus will not be a downer for you here. See? Remember that when we're revisiting the past. On the 9th, Mercury retrogrades in Sagittarius and Scorpio. So this is important because we've had back to back years of Mercury retrograding in your sign. So it could be just all these shifts, all these new setups. Uh, you just need to cross your T's and dot your I's as Mercury goes back and forth over all these agreements and people in your life. Okay. The only warning is with retrograde, blah, blah, blah. Just have plan A, B, C, and D during the retrograde period and retrograde shadow. A lot of people don't mention that because things might be reversed, especially since it's retrograde also in Scorpio. So things regarding the past, um, any secrets might come out here in the past. Okay. So December is the finale. It's the critical 29th degree of Pisces, your fourth house. Excuse me. That Neptune and Saturn are in. That's the most important. So revisiting the past, like I said, in a brand new world with a brand new you, who is now surrounded by all these people and creativity, creative projects, new careers on the horizon. Um, um, you have wealthy benefactors here and partners protecting you with joint finances. Most of you will be on top of the world, even with this revision, this closure. So, this is just closing the book on the past and any lingering or stickling issue regarding your home and family. Maybe about a move, like I mentioned, but you're able to release that and move on as you are in a better, happy, compassionate, peaceful place. Because your family dynamics is changing. Something about family, child, and home is it's changing your physical home. Yeah, it's something brand. It's not a renovation. You are moving, and there's something about an ocean or the water. Wow, this can be really cool. So you want to go into the future with either a resolution, and if there was any fallout, um, so a resolution or a reconcilement, a healing and forgiving peace of mind that it does take two hands to clap, to make a sound, or affording you or others closure and release of any anger, guilt, or betrayal. You want to go into the future with, I'm mentioning this for all the signs, with all of your heart, not half of it, and not with luggage to weigh you down. Because the saying is if you hold on to two things, Sagittarius, and you'll understand this, if you hold on to two things, you will lose both. You want to release that and then go into the future and the vacuum analogy where you're empty and you get filled in with all this good stuff that's coming to you. Okay, because you got a sneak peek in early spring through late summer of all these shifts that are going to happen to you and how you're going to be thrust to be on top of the world again, and so busy. So you want to go into that, encompassing that, and putting your energy into that. All right, because on the 8th, Mars in Sagittarius will square Saturn in Pisces, and Mars in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces on the 14th. So this is where the affording you or others closures and release of the anger, the guilt, or betrayal. Okay, Sagittarius, that's super important for you. And then the last thing I'll mention is um, on the 6th. No, on the 21st. I didn't put it in. Shame on me. Where's Mars? Ah, there it is. So on December 21st, sorry, Mars enters Capricorn, and that is your money house. So you might be spending a little more money during the Christmas holidays and New Year, um, or you might be making more money or getting all this money. So that's the last thing I wanted to mention. And Venus retrograde. I just want to make sure I covered all. Yes, I did, and I'm over an hour and a half. So I hope you found this entertaining or informative. If you did, consider subscribing. It's free, and or at least hit this like button because that really helps my channel, and that's free too. And half of you who listen are not subscribed. At least hit the like button. All right, Sagittarius. Take care of yourself and comment and tell me how this Neptune transit was for you and Pluto transit was. All right, take care.